Why are olives so bitter straight from the tree? While on vacation in Italy, I tasted the raw olives straight from the tree, which was a mistake because the bitterness is overwhelming. And that got me wondering, why are olives so bitter when you eat them straight from the tree? Is there a difference in bitterness between green and black olives? What do people do to them to make them edible? And is there some chemical reaction happening to make them less bitter? Why is olive oil not as bitter as olives themselves? And are there any historical records of how humans even started processing olives in the first place? The culprit behind that mouth-puckering bitterness is a compound called oleuropein. It's a phenolic compound that works as a natural defense for the olive tree, making the fruit taste so unpleasant that animals, including humans, will not eat them before it's ready. In its raw form, oleuropein is extremely intense, far stronger than anything you taste in common bitter foods like coffee or dark chocolate. As for green versus black olives, both contain oleuropein, but green olives, picked before they ripen, have much higher levels of it. Black olives are just ripe olives, and by the time they darken on the tree, some of the oleuropein naturally breaks down, so they tend to be less bitter. Still, even ripe black olives straight from the tree are far too bitter to eat. To make olives edible, people developed curing methods thousands of years ago, each one carefully designed to strip away or transform that stubborn oleuropein. The main approaches are soaking them in brine, packing them in dry salt, fermenting them in water, or treating them with lye. Brining is one of the most common methods. Olives are submerged in a strong salt solution that not only draws out the bitterness through osmosis, but also creates an environment where beneficial lactic acid bacteria thrive. Over time, these bacteria ferment the sugars in the olive, producing acids that break down oleuropein and layer in more complex flavors: salty, tangy, and sometimes fruity or wine-like notes. Dry salting works in a similar way, but more slowly. Olives are packed in coarse salt that draws out moisture and bitterness. Then they are rinsed and lightly coated in oil to preserve them. Water curing is a gentler approach that relies on the fact that oleuropein is water soluble. The olives are soaked in fresh water, which is changed daily, so the compound can leach out gradually. This method can take several weeks and produces a milder flavor, though it's often followed by a short brining period for preservation. Then there's lye curing, the fastest method, which uses a weak sodium hydroxide solution to chemically break oleuropein into smaller, non-bitter molecule in hours or days. However, because lye penetrates the fruit quickly, the olives must be thoroughly rinsed to remove any traces of it before they are safe to eat. Each method not only removes bitterness, but also shapes the final taste and texture. A slow, months-long fermentation produces deep, rich flavors, while quick chemical curing gives a cleaner, milder taste. It's why the olives you buy from one country can taste completely different from those of another. Each region has perfected its own timing, ingredients, and curing traditions over millennia. Got another interesting story of how food is produced? Drop it in the comments and maybe it will be featured in a future episode. I am Mari and this is Midnight Question.